All right, just got back from watching Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Biggest question in my DMs right now is, did it suck a little more or a little less than the first film? Let's get into it. All right, so if you haven't watched the first film, I'm going to dive slightly into a couple of things. I'm not going to do a full-on review of that, but just a couple of things that stuck out to me and kind of bothered me with the first film that are going to tie into this one. This is the only reason I'm going to go revisit that. For starters, the rating. It should have never been PG-13. I'm not even the biggest Venom fan. I'm not even a comic book reader. I just did a surface level research. I grew up with the Sam Raimi trilogy. That's basically my knowledge about Venom. I didn't even watch the Marvel cartoons growing up. But one thing I knew was that it needed to be a much darker story, Snyder-esque, if you will. I would have taken that over the first film. But this time, they really leaned into everything that worked for them. And when I say it worked for them in the first film, it worked for them financially. So we got our buddy comedy. We got our bromance. They doubled down on that in this movie. The rating from the first film, being that things could have been darker, bloodier, gorier. Yes, I am a fan of gore, but I'm not saying it needs to be egregious just for the sake of being egregious. It could have been done well. Let's take a Logan, for example. Deadpool, things like that. Even Deadpool had comedy. This one has that PG-13-esque, that cringe Marvel Cinematic Universe. And don't get me wrong, I do love the MCU. A lot more than I love the DCEU. Don't get it fucked up now. But let's be real. A lot of the comedy in this film is very cringe. For them to double down on that comedy, all that slapstick humor, the throwing themselves around, and I get it, we're getting into Eddie Brock and Venom's relationship in this film a lot more, but it just seems to be all camera service, in my opinion. I would have liked to see things go a much different way. We had Cletus Cassidy performed by Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson is great in everything that I've seen him in. I mean, the man can do no wrong in my eyes, to be honest, but even he wasn't given that much to do. Shriek, his girlfriend, she is an integral part of the story, but in my eyes, she is just a puzzle piece. I refuse to even learn the damn character's name. I think her initials were JB or some shit like that. I don't even know. When you see the film, let me know, because I'm not looking it up. Even the actress, no disrespect to her, but I'm just not doing that right now. I got to get this review fresh out of my mind. But she's just there to slightly move the plot along. This movie knows exactly what it is. One thing that you do here in this community is that, oh, this movie didn't know what it wanted to be, blah, blah, blah. This thing knew what it wanted to be, but that doesn't excuse it. A lot of the comedy is very dry. I had a few chuckles in the theater, but as much as they laid down the humor, it was killing me. I'm like, can we get towards some more jumping around? There's a scene where Venom is just traveling the city, and I got more excitement out of that than this entire motherfucking story. And ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-fiance, ex-whatever, with her old pussy-ass new man. We don't care. They're just there to be. You know what I'll say about this film? It feels like it was cut from. It feels like out of place in time. It feels like it was made in the early 2000s. This is something that I said 3 years ago when the first Venom came out. It just feels out of place in time. Superhero, supervillain, anti-hero, it doesn't matter. These films have come so much of a long way in the last years for shit like this to be coming out. Did it make me angry? Absolutely not. I've seen some people's faces. I've had more DMs about movies than ever when it came to leading up to this film coming out. And for some reason, I can't bring myself to say don't watch it. If you saw the first one and you thought it was tolerable, then I completely understand. If you thought it was tolerable, definitely come see this film. If you don't give a fuck about the source material or any history of this character, go ahead and watch this. And if you're a fan of like action comedy, because like I said, they lay down the comedy very thick. I wouldn't say watch this by yourself like I did. Go ahead, bring some friends, enjoy it. What I say, go ahead and watch this in theaters. I cannot tell you guys not to watch it because it is still somewhat fun. And to be completely honest, I'm gonna save that for the end. Let me get back to that. But yeah, I really don't have too much to say about this. This movie is very surface level. Yes, there's a lot of themes of relationships. You get to see, the turmoil that Eddie Brock is going through, just having to deal with Venom being there all the time. They do lean into that a lot more this film than they did the first one, because the first one, he's just getting to know Venom. Venom is still getting to know Eddie, so he's just popping up every now and then. But this film, you're hearing Venom in Eddie's head every couple of seconds. Just, oh, I want a sandwich. Oh, you want that? What is that? I want something. It's insane. But honestly, this did not make me angry at all. I was expecting much worse, just due to this. I try to avoid a lot of things, spoilers, especially since I saw this movie about 2 days late. But yeah, ain't the best. Would I say this is angry bad? Absolutely not. I would just consider it run-of-the-mill bad. It feels out of place. This would have been very acceptable back in the early 2000s, with those early X-Men films, those early Spider-Man films. It does feel that way. So I'm not going to shit on this film too much. They're probably going to make a third one. You're probably going to see it. I came out to see it. I can't even bring myself to say don't watch this. But pay full price? Absolutely not. I'd say catch it on the $5 Tuesday, catch it on matinee. If you don't want to do that, go ahead and rent it. And if you are going to rent it, have friends over, have drinks. You're all going to have a great time. One last thing I'm going to go into is the post-credit scene. Oh, man. People were hitting me up about that. People I've never even talked to before in my DM saying, oh, make sure you stay, even though I do my advanced research for every film that I watch, even the artsy-fartsy, uppity-buppity ones. But this post-credit scene is not really a post-credit scene. It's actually during a credit scene. You don't have to wait that long. You probably make it about 2 minutes into the credits before they go ahead and play it. Then you can make your way out of there. But what you see, and if you've been doing as much research as I do, you already know what that means. All right, so that's going to be it for me, y'all. Sorry for getting this review out so late. I have moved on into further positions in my workplace. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. If you are watching this right now, you are a big part of my journey. This is my first YouTube blockbuster review, so I really appreciate you all watching. If I deserve it, if you feel like I deserve it, go ahead and subscribe, and I appreciate y'all. Catch y'all next time we live. And oh yeah, I was supposed to do my little stick at the end. I didn't have that scripted. Tom Hardy is great. Woody Harrelson is still great. I'm going to learn the other actress's name very soon, and I'm out.